All right, guys. We need to have a real conversation about how we're going to dominate in 2026. But first, we gotta get some coffee. All right, we have the coffee secured. Shout out to the Carly Hilton. That's just where my GPS did it, and it was the hotel. And the guy was like, "You're gonna be 5-10 minutes max." He's like, "All right, you can just pull over and park here." And I was like, "Sick." So I got the coffee, super excited, went doop doop in out. And so I'm stoked. I am on the way back to the hotel now to talk about how we're gonna dominate in 2026, the next year, the next generation, the next version of yourself. Coffee is secured. We're ready to lock in and dominate this video. And dominate 2026, because that's the topic for today. Little intro story to me, real quick, just so you know who's speaking to you. My name is Will. I'm currently the CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, for an over $200 million business, a sales company. Last year, we paid out like $169 million to sales reps in earned commissions. One of the largest residential solar companies, the pros. And one of the reasons why I want to start making content and do this is, this is my 27th trip of the year. Travel a ton to visit all these offices and sales reps and do stuff. And I haven't made real content from it. And not just that I want to make content for my trips and travel, because that's cool in and of itself, but I want to make content for myself to look back on when I'm 60 and be able to show my kids, my grandkids, or just other things, and be like, yo, here is stuff that I did in the past. I was once cool. I once did cool things and traveled to cool places. But then also to get that creativeness out and do my own thing and create stuff that I wanna create and be a part of and see, and just be able to create more. Like every time I go on places, I'm like, oh, I need to make content. And I never do it. So I'm forcing myself to do it, and how awkward. And even though I don't have the time to really polish things up and make them like the most pretty videos, but I want them to be raw and real and just be involved in that. And so that's what you're gonna get, is just a lot of that content from miscellaneous things and all this fun stuff that goes on and all of that. But I spent the last pretty much 8 years, since 2018, developing this career, learning from some of the best leaders, I think, in the world, but especially in sales, just how to accomplish your goals, how to become the best version of yourself, and how to do everything you do at the highest level possible. And so that's some wisdom and stuff that I want to pour out and press in, and hopefully it adds value to people's lives. And if not, awesome. Part of the cool part there's a loud noise over there. The cool part is everything about this is free, so it doesn't matter. Like, you can click off. But content creation is free, so go create content as well. Because if you have a little bit of time, you have a message, you have things you want to say. YouTube itself is a free platform. Go and upload your videos and have fun and do the things that you want to do. So anyway, side notes over. We're dominating in 2026. I have 3 things to give you guys that I think will help you be able to put yourself in the right position for 2026. And this isn't the last video, so make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, because there's gonna be more and more of this content as we get closer and closer to the new year, and then actually learning how to execute on those goals and things you want to accomplish. So first way to dominate in 2026 is to know what dominating in 2026 even means. I know it's elementary, but so many people do things, so many people like get into rhythms and modes, and they actually have no idea what they're aiming for. I do one-on-ones with team members, and employees and things like that. And one of the most important aspects of those one-on-ones is for me to understand what the other person wants in life in general, not just in a career, but just in life. And so that's some of my first questions. And a lot of times, most times, I have to revisit that conversation at the next time we do a one-on-one, because they haven't put the time in to process and think, or they're like, hey, me just having a job is the goal. Me just doing this is the goal. And so they get that and they feel unfulfilled in their life. They don't perform at their highest levels, and you can see that in your own life. And I remember specifically when I was in college and I was doing things like, I had goals and aspirations and I wasn't living in those. Like, I was working at a YMCA, at doing sports. I was working at Chick-fil-A. I was doing a ton of other stuff. And I would tell you in all those situations that obviously those are stepping stone jobs. Like, no, not a lot of people. There are people, but not a lot of people like do soccer camps on Saturday, and they're like, awesome, this $10 an hour, this is years ago, this $10 an hour that I'm making running soccer, this is what I'm doing the rest of my life. Like, not a lot of people do that, and it's unsustainable. You can't do that and take care of a family. But anyway, in those moments, I didn't have full clarity of what I was going to do or where I was going to end up. And it wasn't until later that it all made sense. But what I was building in that moment was a work ethic that then matched with skills, led me to be able to trailblaze and absolutely dominate in the positions and opportunities. One of my favorite sayings, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. And you got to make sure you're preparing for the opportunity to hit, because if an opportunity comes, you're not prepared, you're not able to capitalize on it, it's not going to work out the way you want. And you might need to happen. You might need to learn through that, because the unknown unknowns will prevent you from doing it. But if you try and eliminate the unknown unknowns, then when the opportunity hits, when you get the right opportunity, you can just freaking run. So a lot of that said, the way to dominate is to know what dominating even means. What do you want? What are your goals? And so there's a few frameworks we use in the business sense. I need to rebrand these a little bit for personal development, personal growth, which is what I strive for more than anything, is just growth and self-mastery. I want to be the best version of myself. Whatever that looks like, that's what I want to be. But we have business objectives, marketing tactics, general business framework. It's like, awesome, our company wants to do 100 sales. We're going to do those sales through e-commerce, and we're going to run Instagram ads and post on social media until we get those 100 orders, right? So you have a business objective, I'm doing 100 sales. A marketing objective, I'm going to sell via e-commerce. And a marketing tactic, I'm going to start posting on Instagram. Super simplified framework for just general business. Now, moving that into your personal life, go to, hey, what are the high level objectives you want to accomplish? What is that thing? Do you want to make X amount of dollars? Do you want to, have a stable and steady relationship that's no drama? And I want to go on a specific vacation. What is the objectives that you want over the next year, and defining what you really want? And it's important to start defining. Use the journal app on your iPhone. Figure it out to start defining, because then you can actually articulate and better communicate, hey, is that a goal worth actually following? Because I know people who chase the vacation end, like, don't feel as fulfilled as they probably would if they were chasing something more meaningful than just a week off of work. So, and then work becomes the drag. Work is the thing to avoid, because your reward is not being at work. But reality is, life is work. And if you can work at something that you love and find meaning and passion in, and feel fulfillment in, then you're on vacation and you're like, gosh, I can't wait to get back to the mission, which is a pro and con in itself. So that's a whole other rabbit hole. But ultimately, once you start defining your goals, you'll be able to lay it out in a way where you can figure out what is meaningful and what isn't meaningful. Then you go to your other side of the equation, which is marketing objectives, your way to accomplish that. So money and stuff are the easy ones, for me anyway, to articulate, because it's so logical. So if I do that too much, I'm sorry. But say your objective, your number one objective, or your high level objective is $100,000 a year. Then your next level objective is, well, I have a job. I have a thing that I'm doing. And then your tactic is to execute daily on that. So you go to your job and you're like, hey, if your job does not accomplish your goal, hey, I want to make this doesn't work. Going to your boss and being like, hey, I have an objective. I need to get to a place in my life where I'm making 100K. And people are afraid of asking these conversations or having these conversations. And I'm sure some people make these conversations more awkward. Like some leaders make these conversations more awkward than they probably should. But have the conversation, be like, hey, I'm trying to have a family. I'm trying to provide for kids. I need for my wife and I to be comfortable and not stress about money or get into situations. I need to make X amount of dollars. What value can I add to the business to where it's a no-brainer? Like, how can I be so valuable that you pay me $100,000? And you'll be surprised at the answers that you get. But ultimately, if you don't know what you're chasing, you don't even know the questions to ask to get there. So to dominate in 2026, you got to define really clearly, here are the things that I want to do and the processes and systems that I want to take. And then you can be like, awesome, I got to make this. Well, I have this job that's paying me 60 grand a year right now. How do I get from 60 to 100 and have those conversations? I have doubled my income multiple times from having those conversations. Because I'm like, hey, what do I got to do this? And then I do it, and I'm like, hey, I did this. But I've added so much value to their business that they have to pay me what I want to make, because otherwise I have the work ethic and skills, and I have the opportunity. So, or I don't have the opportunity, but I have the work ethic, the skills, and the value that I'm adding, and I can easily transfer that to other opportunities. And so... and they don't want to lose that. Once you open the floodgates and you're like, hey, what do I got to do to add real value? And you start getting the problems of the business, and then you're able to add solutions to the business, bro, you freaking take off. You take off because you're able to be like, awesome, I'm thinking at a higher level than someone who just clocks in, gets the work that they're told to do done, and leave. The people that do that will never hit the levels that they want. So you got to go in with I think Dave Ramsey has entree leadership mindset, where it's like, hey, I'm an entrepreneur in an employee role, and I'm going to go and have those conversations with my goals. No, don't say, hey, I need 100K or I'm out, but go in and say, hey, my wife and I, or if you're married or not, I'm married, so I use that lens, but I have this objective to make X amount of dollars. What value do I need to add? And if they don't have an answer, that's a good indication for you to be like, awesome, I need to go somewhere else. I need to start looking for other jobs and opportunities because I have to accomplish this goal. So you'll start to figure out, hey, I have this goal, I have these methods of accomplishing that, and then I have these daily executable actions to accomplish that. And you start framing it in that framework, bro, you'll freaking take off. Anyway, dominating in 2026, first one, having those clear goals, define what dominating is for you, and then knock it through that system. Hey, here's the objective I have. Here's my general method of accomplishing that, and then here's the daily strategy. I'm going to show up to work every day early. I'm going to talk to my boss every day about how I can make his life easier. I'm going to go boom, boom, boom. I'm going to start listing out all the ways that help me accomplish that. That is method number one. Method number two. This one will hopefully be faster. I don't even know how long I'm going to record for. 11 minutes, what the frick? If you're watching this, you're crazy. Method number two. So we have choosing education over entertainment every single time. So I probably have the most screen time of anyone for YouTube. I love YouTube. I want to make videos for YouTube because I love watching YouTube videos so freaking much. I've learned everything I have from YouTube, but it's so easy to get sucked into these entertainment rabbit holes on conspiracy theories, crime, I don't know, just random stuff. YouTube is there's so many random videos that I don't even remember that I've watched. But when you really start to X factor, and it really helps when you have those defined goals, because then you're like, okay, well, how do I do this? Well, I just YouTube it. I just look it up on YouTube. There's someone talking about this, someone doing this. Which makes it so easy. So, just making sure that you're conscious about the inputs you're putting into your brain and choosing education over entertainment. So it's same with books. Books are everything I'm trying to do right now, where I'm reading more than I ever have. And I want to put more books into my brain than YouTube videos into my brain, which is not going to happen, but eventually that switch could happen. But you'll start to make the switch, and then you're like, okay, you load up the app, and a video gets recommended to you that's like a Mr. Beast video or something high entertainment, high stimulating, changes every 5 seconds, that's designed to hook you and keep you in. But then you willfully going through that and being like, no, I'm going to look up a Webflow tutorial and start learning about websites right now. I'm going to learn about how I can optimize SEO a little bit better, or how I can run Instagram pages better, or new trends, or things that serve me in a way that help me accomplish my goals and not just numb and mask and let me get to the next part of my day or life. And so making sure that you're choosing those, and this channel is a great one. Subscribe, it's gonna be great. I want everyone who watches this video to freaking succeed at even higher levels than you've ever succeeded in your life. So that's the goal. Anyway, so just make sure the second way to dominate is to choosing education over entertainment, making sure you're educating yourself on things that matter, not just random history facts, but like, hey, how does this actually serve your life, your goals, and push you forward? And into a better space. So again, when I say educate, I'm not just meaning random science facts unless you're a scientist, or random history unless you're a historian. Like, lock the frick in. So the last one is just writing down your core 4 every single day. So the last way to dominate, writing down your core 4. What are the core 4? Purpose, which is mind. How are you growing 1% better every day in your mind? Passion, how are you growing the relationships around you 1% every single day? Production, what is my one X factor today at work that moves the ball forward? What do I have to do today that helps push me forward? And the last one, physical, making sure you're moving your body. Remember, like, it is like in life in general is a game of longevity. So many people get wrapped up in the weekend, to the like day to day, paycheck to paycheck. And it's like, no, the real game is longevity. And so the longevity play is maxing out your retirement accounts, kind of boring. And putting money in stocks, kind of boring. Going to the gym every day, hard and boring. And I'm like, I'm guilty all the time. I know, I get it. Choosing education over entertainment. It's like the decisions that help you the most are the ones that are prudent, the ones that help you years from now, not just the ones that are today. So again, those 4 are, boom. What are they? Tell me. First one, gosh, I always get the order mixed up, so if I say the order a different way, but it's physical, it is production, it is passion, and it is purpose. There we go, on the dome, baby. But yeah, just make sure you're putting good stuff into your life. Purpose, spiritual beliefs. Purpose is like focus on who I'm becoming, identity work. A lot of those focuses. Passion is the relationships around you, making sure that your marriage is dialed, making sure your girlfriend's relationship, your significant other relationship's dialed, or your relationship with your boss is dialed. Even if you don't like your job, like, be for people. The number one thing you can do in life is to be for other humans. And even if that hurts you in the moment, like, I would much rather give more than I get. And I want to be in relationships where I add more value to people's lives than I get value from them every single time. So how do you flip that to where you're just adding value to the people in your lives? And like, how do you make your relationship with your boss, like him or not, the best it can be? Even if you hate your boss, if you just go in and you're nice to your boss and you're like, hey, I hope you're doing well. Like, how's X? And you remember things from conversations and you treat your boss like a human, like, oh, that'll take you so far. In addition to the coworkers and the people that you're around, like, I had one guy that I worked with. His name was Brock Middleton. Friggin' shout out to Brock. But Brock was one of the best interpersonal people ever. You would say something you liked, and he would go home and just research it for like 2 hours. And then he would come back the next day, and he would start talking to you about things that you liked, even if he had zero interest in it at all. And it made me feel so loved and like, wow, dude, this guy's a stud. And this guy really cares. And it made me want to, reciprocate that, but also do that in other relationships of my life because of how good it made me feel and like someone cared and paid attention. And you can be that for someone. And it's a lonely game. I'm telling you right now, you're going to get to a place where you feel like you're doing this and no one's reciprocating, and that's okay. You have to live in that. A lot of times people are like, well, if no one's going to do it for me, I'm not going to do it for them. And then we get in this cynical, separated, divided situation, and that hurts everyone around. If you can go into it and be okay with people taking, then freaking you will crush. You will crush. And the goal is to add more value to everyone's life than you get. It's like, how can I add more value to the people around me's lives than I get? and that is the goal. So anyway, my name is Will. I'm starting a Substack, so you guys can get weekly newsletters. I love this angle. It's probably really bad. I'm starting a Substack, weekly newsletters. We're going to recap things in videos and stuff like that and really go into either further detail and stuff like that. 100% free. Link is top link in the description. Make sure you subscribe to that. Hit your inbox. It'll be fun. It'll be nice. But yeah, subscribe to the channel, making content about just becoming the best versions of ourselves and just making content that I can look back on when I'm 60 and be like, wow, I used to actually like have hair. I had a great beard when I was 39. And then it's cool to see how mindset and lifestyle change over the time. So I'm excited about making content and getting stuff out there. So anyway, my name is Will. Subscribe, like, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.